You're listening to The Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Raw Reaction, the originals, the Angry Tensai, the Big Dick. We're here tonight. Big Dick, how you doing, buddy?
Dude, I am doing well. I am at home, or at one of my homes in the state of Virginia, and I am in a state of happiness because it was a entertaining Raw this evening, which is more than we could say for the last month or so.
Well, you know, I disagree. I think tonight's Raw, I was just saying this before we got on the air. Maybe you weren't speaking about tonight's Raw. I am going to go as far as to say that maybe not on matches, but on entertaining content, I thought this was one of the best Raws in years.
Wow, I didn't go that far. I said the best Raw in a while, but I meant like in the last 2 months. You're definitely you're a little bit more marking out for this Raw than I am.
I'm going to go right for it. Do you want to know what captured my attention? And I was hanging on the every move of the segment. You know me pretty...
No, I have no idea. I want to hear this.
All right. Well, I'll tell you something right now. I love storylines, and I love... maybe it's like I like supernatural feuds, and I loved Vampiro Sting. I love the Kane and Undertaker stuff. I love the Ministry stuff. I absolutely loved the New Day running up on the Wyatt compound. And I love the dynamic that we saw and the development in the characters of the New Day and their serious side. I thought that fight scene was so intense. I thought it was awesome. What'd you think of it?
I want to ask you, before we get to this, I want to ask you, have you seen and this was from like a week ago, the Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy, their fight scene from the Hardy compound in North Carolina?
I don't watch that garbage.
Oh man, it was leading up to it. It was interesting, and the match was. It was almost like they gave Matt and Jeff Hardy, they gave them like the ability to become like the executive producers of this matchup. There was literally segments talked up. It was like a soap opera. There was they were filming it from a drone leading up to the match. You have to watch it. It is like you love
garbage.
this.
It's garbage.
It was it was absolutely crap. There was literally a point during the match where he started shooting off like a mortar at his brother.
But you didn't. I thought first off, this is WWE TV, and how great you didn't love. I saw a side of Xavier Woods overcoming his fears in that segment when he came back out of nowhere and started going at Wyatt. I thought it was awesome. I just thought the whole scene was crazy. I mean, and they did hold their own with the Wyatts. I mean, basically the Wyatts followers came out of the shadows, and the New Day just figured we got to get the hell out of here. It was an incredible.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I was a little uncomfortable with this at first. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, the New Day going out to Backroads, Louisiana, that segment where Xavier Woods was behind a tree. I'm like, this isn't going to end well. Wyatts were stalking him. But, no, it was a lot better than the TNA angle. The TNA angle, it was actually, it was laughable. There were a lot of...
Forget TNA. for WWE, don't you feel like they did something new, something different, and something interesting there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't, and I think this leads up to a match. I don't know if it advanced the feud. I mean, I thought it was cool, but what do they do? What do you do for an encore? I mean, you just have a match 3-on-3 at the next pay per view, or do you have do you do something else? Do you film it in advance, or
it's going to be an easy match of some sort between these guys, and it's going to be legit. It might be a Hell in a Cell match. I don't know, but I love.
I think you have to do that to advance it. I think a regular match, a tag team matchup, it's just not going to do it. I mean, these guys just dislike each other, and it's sort of gone beyond. They've gone out. They literally went into the Wyatt family's homestead, and
it took
brought the pain.
Yeah, they did bring the pain. It was awesome. It was a great, and they kicked Strowman around a little bit. I enjoyed it. They were good, man. It was great, and Biggie was laying people out like crazy. But man, what a good angle, and that was Attitude Era-esque. Another thing that was Attitude Era-esque that I absolutely loved was the Rollins report. That might be one of
my god, that was probably one of my favorite things. that was freaking great.
Dude,
he's literally sitting there splicing interviews together with Roman Reigns with the title on his shoulder, talking about whatever, and having it spliced into the interview. That was hilarious.
He made Roman Reigns look like such a tool. It was so awesome. It was the
pretty
crowd.
Much. And I think that's part of it, where they're just like, hey, you know what? It's like Reigns. I think there's no chance in hell that Roman Reigns wins this match and is back in the title picture for a while. Just because, I mean, I don't even know how he's in the main event still after getting suspended, other than the fact that I think they're trying to rush the Shield matchup. I thought they should have waited on that a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, I think that it's going to be, to be honest with you, I think Rollins takes the title back.
Well,
what are your thoughts there?
I could see that. I think Ambrose has been a really good champion, actually, and I thought he did a really good job in tonight's segment. And he didn't really care about Roman Reigns. He was more like, you want a one-on-one match, you have it anytime you want. Rollins is going to cash in next, or not cash in, he's going to take the match next week. But, I mean, the intensity of Ambrose saying, I don't care who's won what match. I've been carrying this company the last year plus, if you haven't been watching Raw. I thought that was, like, awesome. And, you know, I was thinking about it. And it would have been something if Ambrose was allowed to bring up the dick pics of Rollins, which was a big media firestorm for WWE. I mean, if you think about it, Reigns with the drugs, Rollins with the crazy women. I mean, Ambrose has kept his nose clean. You know, he's been a great leader, and he never gets hurt.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's sort of the thing. And I mean, that could be the reason why they keep the belt on him for a while, because they're like, hey, you know what? You've done your feuds. You traded wins and losses with Jericho. You lost to what's his name, Lesnar. Like you've done. I mean, you've put in your time and you've won your feuds. You've lost your feuds, but I mean, you're always entertaining. And I think that some of it, one of the reasons I think they might take the belt off of him is because over the last like month or so, I was reading on the internet, like the ratings are really far down. And it's almost like Ambrose, since he got the title, he's more like PG-13, like goofy cornball stuff than like hardcore ass kicker. Like, I mean, it's almost like where he has the title now, so he's not as in your face and aggressive. It's more of a haha title type thing than like the chase.
Well, they should.
And I don't necessarily think that's correct. I think part of it is, you know what? It's like ratings are down because guess what? It's beautiful weather out. It's a freaking summer. You have a Memorial Day show. You have 4th of July show on a Monday night. Guess what? Ratings are going to be down anyway. This is sort of slow season until lead up for WrestleMania. I think, that's just a victim of just shitty timing for getting the belt.
Ambrose is a heel when it happens. Will be money. He's going to be Roddy Piper-esque. But you know what? He's doing a great job, and it's going to be a great match to pay-per-view, and it'll be a good match in Raw. next week. I'm sure Reigns is going to interfere and cost the match, but it'll be interesting.
I don't know. Is he back from his suspension by then?
I don't know, probably, but
I could see Rollins winning it on Raw, and then having a triple threat match, and Ambrose winning it back.
I don't think so, but it could happen.
I don't know.
It could happen.
I feel like it's almost they could swap the title here and sort of make it oh man, you got to watch Raw. If you think about it, when was the last time that the title switched hands on Raw or SmackDown for that argument?
I don't know.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time, and that's why I feel like if you have a match, you know what?
I thought Reigns beat Sheamus.
Leading up to what's that?
I thought Reigns took the title from Sheamus on Raw.
No. When the hell was that?
Speaking of which, Sheamus.
I don't.
Can I ask you a question?
Whatever.
Zack Ryder is supposed to be the number one contender to the U.S. title against Rusev. So there's like a kind of a feud going on between them. So Sheamus has a match with Zack Ryder tonight. Sheamus destroys Zack Ryder, beats him with a bro kick, just pins him, kicks the crap out of him. Down comes Rusev, who's the U.S. champion, that is supposedly giving Ryder a shot. Rusev then absolutely destroys Zack Ryder. Can you explain that segment to me? That was the only segment tonight that I really had a problem with.
You know what? My first thought in seeing Zack Ryder backstage with Rusev is that Ryder's big now. He looks like, what the hell's his name? Eric Young from WCW, or from TNA. Like, he's jacked.
Yes,
I couldn't believe it.
He did put a lot on.
I'm like, holy shit. It's like somebody, I'm going to test him for some drugs and not marijuana. He's gotten pretty jacked up since the last time I really saw him or paid attention to him. But, you know what? The one thing I will say, with that, and the one out I guess you can give is that Sheamus did attack him from behind and hurt his arm. But at the same time, I don't really understand. It doesn't really advance the feud. I don't know. Is this going to be Rusev versus Ryder at the pay-per-view, or is this on, like, SmackDown or something? This pay-per-view makes zero sense.
It's interesting. What about Darren Young winning the Battle Royal? He's going to be the number one contender in a Miz. That was surprising.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see that coming. And to be honest, I missed like the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes of Raw, so I missed this entire thing until like the
I don't mind it. It's interesting.
I was reading about it. I don't mind it. I thought that there were better. I mean, I get that he's coming back. I thought that he'd be better off getting in like a single feud with somebody. Again, I mean, it could be whoever. But
Bob Backlund makes him interesting.
Yeah, I thought he was going to come back as a heel though, because I figured it's going to be like a Donald Trump type thing, and people freaking loved him. So I mean, I guess it makes sense he comes back. But it was funny how he won it, because he didn't really win it. He more stayed out of the way and let other things happen to help him win it. So I thought that was sort of, I mean, it was almost like what's his name, Curtis Axel's debut, where he had like 3 or 4 count-out wins over top like Cena and shit like that, and like finishing maneuvers to count out.
Speaking of Cena, so you got the big match coming up between the Club, Gallows, Anderson, and Styles versus Enzo, Cass, and Cena. There was a no contest match tonight between the two tag teams. Dude, as much as I really like AJ Styles, and I think he's done a tremendous job on the mic, I think AJ has been unbelievable. He's been the MVP in 2016.
Wow.
I want to like Anderson and Gallows so much, because I want to get behind the hype. I want to be their Styles as boys. They come off to me, and I hope Kevin's listening to this, because I want to get his feedback on this too. Anderson and Gallows come off to me, and I watched them give 22 sweet signs tonight to each other. They come off to me as knockoff aces and eights. They're not even aces and eights. They're two guys pretending to be aces and eights. That's how bad I think they look. They look terrible. And they're making Styles look bad, which I don't like, because AJ's awesome.
Wow.
They look like two grown men pretending to be other wrestlers. Like, oh, we're here to be Nash and Gallows from Aces and Eights. We're Nash from NWO and Mike Knox from Aces and Eights. That's what they look like to me. I mean, they're like, it's like embarrassing. Like, I'm embarrassed for them. They're trying so hard, and it's just not.
Well, I think that WWE really dropped the ball with them as far as bringing them in. I thought at the pay-per-view where it was a 4-team matchup, I thought they should have had the titles.
Yeah.
Because right now, like, I don't even know the last time I saw the titles on the air. I mean, it's like New Day has them, I guess. I didn't see them out in the swamps of Louisiana tonight. And in a feud with the Wyatts, I don't think it really matters. I think that would have given them credibility, and it would have been something where AJ Styles, it would have helped the club as far as AJ Styles doesn't need to be wearing gold. I mean, I feel like somebody needs to be wearing gold to give them credibility, and AJ Styles doesn't necessarily need to be that person. He can feud with Cena or Jericho or whoever and have great matches and still be the leader. He doesn't need to have the gold. I think having those guys as tag team champions would legitimize them a lot, or would have legitimized them a lot. I think the ship has sailed on that. But I mean, it would be good because if they had the straps right now, they could have this 6-man tag match at Battleground, and then guess what? Cena Styles at the pay-per-view, and then we have a tag team match between Kaz and Enzo versus the club at SummerSlam, and that's something people give a shit about.
It's good booking, but you still avoided my comment about how Anderson and Gallows appear. Like, is that just in my head, or are they appearing that way?
I don't know. I think the two tweet thing. I think that's sort of played out. I mean, I was surprised that they allowed that to get past creative. I figured they'd come up with a new thing. Like, I don't know what the new thing is.
Hide his beard, his attire, and the way he's actually talking into the mic. He's trying to be Kevin Nash. Literally, he walks over the top rope. He's trying to be Kevin Nash, and it's just it really is coming off poor. I don't know.
I mean, I get what you're talking about there, but at the same time, I mean, you sort of in the matchup tonight, you need somebody to match up with Big Cass, and I think that, hey, you know what? Gallows, he's going to portray himself as a monster. That's fine. I let him step over top rope. That's fine. On a side note, I actually saw, I think it was a couple weeks ago, and I don't think I mentioned it. I actually saw somebody in Virginia Beach, North Carolina, walking across a BJ's parking lot, and he had a shaved head, a beard, and a Bowler Club t-shirt on. And he looked exactly like Anderson.
Maybe it was him.
I'm like, I don't think so. To be honest with you, I really don't think that they wear Bowler Club shit outside of the ring.
You know what WWE
and it's sort of a sketchy area.
You know what WWE needs to do? Next week, Ambrose gets ready for his match with Rollins. Rollins is seen just laid out in the back. He's nowhere to be found. And Stephanie McMahon says, well, we advertised a world title fight on my new Raw. We're going to get a world title fight, no matter what. And you're going to face suitable competition tonight. Ambrose is waiting in the ring. And I would literally have Brock Lesnar come out and beat him in 15 seconds flat. Brock Lesnar, after what he did at UFC the other night, cold, and the layoff he's had, if you're not going to ride the momentum of what just happened, Brock Lesnar should be the world WWE champion. He is the most legit thing out there. He is the man. He is the beast incarnate. He is unbeatable. He's the big chance for WWE to be mainstream. They need to put that damn belt on Brock Lesnar right now. What do you think?
I have a question for you. Do you think at the pay-per-view he brings the belt out with him, or leading up to the pay-per-view he brings his UFC championship belt out? Because it was worked out in the agreement between Brock and WWE and UFC.
He doesn't have one yet. He's been the champion, but he doesn't have one yet. But Either or.
What do you mean? I thought, wasn't that a championship bout?
No, Mark Hunt's ranked like 8 in the heavyweight.
Okay.
Super respected. He's a big time fighter. It's funny now though, all the little UFC bitch boys, now they were all like, oh, Mark Hunt is the one hit and quit. He's gonna walk off knockout, and he's the one guy Brock Lesnar didn't want to fight, and they were all building this guy up, and he's vicious. He's killed people in there. But you know what? Brock literally made this guy look like a bitch. He picked this fat ass up. He was slamming him all over the mat like he was just trash. Brock dominated from bell to bell. It was awesome. Brock's the man, dude.
Yeah.
He's advertised. If you don't like it, UFC boys, you better learn to love it, because Brock's back this time, and he ain't gonna lose this time. Brock's back.
Well, that's a funny thing now, is because he's doing. I mean, he has like a 3-year contract with WWE, but now, I mean, WWE's almost better off. It's like with The Rock. Better off letting him go do movies in between pay-per-views.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Rock's doing it full time, but I mean, they might as well let him go do
before the Lesnar
MMA.
Match, before the Lesnar match, UFC did a promo. I kid you not. The UFC did a SummerSlam promo for Orton and Lesnar. Literally, and it wasn't one that they just let stream in. They literally said, Joe Rogan's he's like, ladies and gentlemen, we want to talk about Brock Lesnar. If you're into the WWE, they're going to have a huge SummerSlam event where he's going to take on the Viper, making his return, Randy Orton. And I'm like, wow, UFC's legit promoting this. Well,
I think that's part of the agreement, because WWE, I think they had a non-compete. And I think it was one of those situations where he's like, look, it's like, I'm not wrestling until WrestleMania. Like, it's like a month and a half away. Can I have...
Right.
I mean, they probably had to move some stuff around for him, but it is probably like, hey, it's like, you know what? It's like, if we can work something out with negotiating like promos and like video. I mean, I'm sure you could probably negotiate the pictures that they could use, and even like the videos down the road, like which videos they're going to be able to use in promoting Brock Lesnar's win leading up to Randy Orton. Although I would have loved to have seen, similar to when The Undertaker went to one of his things, I would have loved to have seen Orton like somewhere like along the path to the ring or ringside or something during the match and then after the match. And just do a stare down, not even have anything happen, but just have like a big stare down. And I guarantee you WWE pushed for that, and UFC probably said, no way, no how.
Whoa. Did you see this? I'm watching a little MSNBC here, which I normally don't watch. I watch CNN. But it says RNC platform topics. One of the things that they're focusing on is they're saying that porn is a public health crisis and a menace to society. What?
I'll believe Obama for that.
Whoa. What's wrong with... Why are they saying that?
You know what? It's a slow news day. It's a slow news day. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, 12:30 at night on a Monday night. It's slow news time. There's probably some study out of University of Little Rock, Arkansas, that said something about that. That's the only thing I can think of.
Why would they say that?
I don't know. It's fucked up. I think we should disprove that theory.
Well, interesting nonetheless. I'm trying to think of what else is going on. So, what else did we see?
So Vince gave control of SmackDown to Shane and Raw to Stephanie. Not really. I really don't care. It was sort of a lame ending to the show, I thought.
I think we knew that was going to happen, though.
Yeah, I was sort of hoping Vince was going to say, you know what, it's like ratings are down, it's like he wants it done right, do it yourself, and put himself in charge and have like Shane and Steph be like the assistants. But I guess not. I guess he's letting them sink on their own.
Well, I mean, I would say obviously Stephanie got the better of the deal.
You know what? I think so too, but at the same time, I don't know. If Shane puts on, it's going to be interesting to see, because it's going to be a live show now. It's interesting to see how much talent they gave Shane. If they give Shane similar talent, I think that he can definitely spice it up a little bit. Well,
I mean, it depends on the roster he gets. They need Brock.
Oh, yeah. This could be hard for anybody to believe that Randy Orton loses to Brock Lesnar. Or Randy Orton beats Brock Lesnar after this fight.
WWE is not stupid enough, are they? They can't be. To let Randy Orton go over Brock Lesnar. They could not possibly do that.
You know what? I'd hope not, but I don't know. I'm just hoping for a long, good, solid match with, and it doesn't have to be a clear winner, but I mean, have it be a really good match, and I mean, let it carry till Survivor Series or something. Let it carry a few pay-per-views to have these guys have a couple more backstage feuds, a couple more matches, whatever.
Mitt Romney's not going to Donald Trump's convention.
Oh no, that's horrible.
Mitt Romney, what a piece of shit that guy is, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's like back in 2012 when he was running, I'm like, you know what? Oh wait, yeah, it was 2012. Back then, I remember saying like, you know what? It's like I'll vote for him because he's better than Obama. How could he not man up and say that Trump's better than Hillary? I mean, that's all he has to say. He doesn't say freaking love you or support you.
Hillary
he's a freaking sore loser.
Hillary and Mitt have something in common. You know, you look at like Obama and you look at Trump, they just like talk, right? Like whatever they think is like kind of what they say, or at least comes off that way. But when you look at like Hillary Clinton or Mitt Romney speak, they use like sales voice. They're like yucking it up. They're like, and you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get everybody back to work. We're gonna get the economy going. Like, they're so full of shit. Like, it's not their real voice. It's like this upbeat, like as if you were talking to children, you know? Like, even, like Obama's got that, you know, he's got that southern draw to his voice, you know, he's got that voice, you know, and Trump too, like, he's just like so smooth, like, people might not like what he's saying, but dude, he's a powerful speaker, man, you know, like, fucking real powerful. I mean, he can make people look foolish, man, although I know people like to make fun of him. I watch him dismantle people on those debate stages, man, whether you like him or not. Because he's being real, you know. Same with Obama. I mean, they're whether you like either side of their politics, they know how to talk, man. And I just look at people like Mitt Romney and Hillary Clinton. I'm like, can you be any faker? Can you be any less insincere? You know, Mitt Romney. Do you know what I said? Do you know what I said to my guys? I said we had an open position. Oh, by golly, there's no women in here. And I said, guys, there's, you know. I'm just thinking there's got to be some women that could do this job. So you know what? By God, they brought in these binders full of women. And who would have thunk it? They were qualified women. And you know what's great? The jobs these women take, we could let them work at night so they could take care of kids and cook for the kids during the day. I'm like, oh my God, dude, you just lost the election right there. You moron. Like, I have never in my life seen a human being more out of touch with reality than in the binders full of women commentary. I watched this guy. Now remember, I lean to the right, brother. I lean a little to the right. I watched this guy take a gun and shoot himself in the head with the binders full of women comment. It was the most amazingly sexist thing I've ever seen in my life, trying to dress it up like he's pro-women. Like, yeah, man, we really believe that you cared, that we gotta get women, we gotta bring women in here, and by golly, we found them, like, because I'm such a good guy, I can find women to do the job, because there's none that can do it, but I found them, like, oh my God, man, what is wrong with you? That guy is such a turd, man, do not like that guy. I digress on our wrestling show. Do you love it, Vic? Big Dick. Did I offend you, Big Dick?
You did. You upset me greatly. You upset me.
Do you remember Binders Full of Women?
What's that?
You remember Binders Full of Women?
No.
You don't remember that?
High school?
No, that was Mitt Romney. Binders Full of Women. You don't remember that?
No, man. That was a freaking long time ago, and that was after Romney was an afterthought.
Anyway, forget all that. What else happened? Divas, you got Sasha Banks taking out Brooke.
Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. I think that's going to lead up to the pay-per-view. It's happening. It's going to happen. It's That's good.
Can I ask
Just get to the pay-per-views.
I love the show. We got through most of it. I got Kevin Owens had a good match with Cesaro. He won. He won clean, which surprised me. And him and Zayn.
I was surprised they didn't hype that. I was surprised they didn't hype that match at all.
That's the second time those guys have fought on Raw, and like you said, I mean they act like it's just like any other match. That's surprising because it's
yeah.
To me.
I mean that was a great match. Like I'm literally like, okay, it's like I'm not gonna say like shit right during this match. It's like
Owens great.
It is a great match. I mean it wasn't a classic. I mean it was probably like 12, 13 minutes, but I mean both those guys know how to put on a match.
Let me ask you a question.
Although I don't like Cesaro's new gimmick.
What is
not
it?
a big fan.
Suit.
Where he wears his sunglasses out and comes out like in a suit or a Cesaro section shirt. He panders to the fans, but not a lot. Where it's like just a little bit, and it's like, you know what? It's like I'd rather have him be the badass heel than try to sort of pander as like a in-betweenish face. He was definitely the face in this matchup, but I mean,
chance in a moment. I'm still speaking. Gosh, can't we find some women? Can we find some women, young women, and women of all ages? We took a concerted effort to go out and find women. So they brought us whole binders full of women. Young women, women of all ages, binders full of women. Mine had more women. We took a concerted effort to go out and find women. Binders full of women.
The Binders Full Women remix.
So, dude, I have a question for you, man. Who do you think is going to be the man's VP candidate?
Oh, I can tell you who it is. You want to know who it's going to be?
Who?
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you. You're a guy. You've been around for a while. It's going to be this man right here.
Talking spider monkey, running around mad at the world because President Boda won't give your idiot race South Africa. Why don't you grow up, Brown, and do something you're qualified for, like shiny shoes? To speed a man Bull Dyke. The last time she was with a man, she was one. As far as I'm concerned, you got a she-freak over here. You got some idiot over here who thinks he's Desmond Tutu from Harlan. And together, these two psychos viciously and without any reason attack me. They split my head open. They attack my bodyguard. They attack my number one lady, Charlie Hayes. And does the WCW do a damn thing about it? Hell no. They pat him on the back, tell him they did good, and then they have the nerve and the audacity to ban my bodyguard. What the hell is the conspiracy all about? Is it because we're so much better looking than all these bimbos out there? But you know, it really doesn't matter, because I'll tell you why. The payback is coming, baby, and the payback is going to be hell, and it's going to be one big surprise. And I'm talking all these bitches.
And that is the man. All these bitches. The Prince of Wrestling will be the VP for Donald Trump. And let me tell you, you hear the way this guy rocks the mic. I wouldn't want to debate that guy.
Nah. I mean, that'd be awesome if he's just like, I just want the best guy at promos. And I want to run with The Rock. He's awesome at promos.
The Rock is great at promos, but I'm not just saying this. Listening to that promo, I think the Prince of Wrestling, and I'm not making a joke, I'm being dead serious, although it's funny, his content, his delivery and his presentation of his promo, I think he's better than 99% of the WWE on the mic. This guy right here.
Yeah. Well, and the problem is, though, WWE, they get to the point where, I mean, if they either somebody isn't great on the mic or they don't think somebody's going to be great on the mic, they just don't put the mic in their hand.
Yeah.
Like, when was the last time you saw a full-on Apollo Crews or Sheamus or Alberto Del Rio or Cesaro, like a full-on promo? The only people you can really give that to in WWE is John Cena, Enzo and Cass, and what the hell's his name? Kevin Owens.
Well, you're missing
and you know what? Maybe Ambrose.
You're missing one.
I'd say Ambrose.
You're missing one.
Not Ambrose. Freaking Rollins.
You're missing one.
Ambrose. What's that?
There's one guy they really trust with the mic, but they don't let him do what he should be doing. That's Jericho. They definitely trust him with the mic.
Oh yeah, well, I mean he's been around and he can get what he wants, but I mean, he's not.
You know what they're not letting him do?
I don't know.
What made him so great in WCW and at the beginning of his run at WWE, Jericho's become a multi-time world champion, so he's really a big character now, right? So, like, as a champion, he has to kind of put people over now, but what made him great was he would bury the whole fucking roster. He would go guy by guy and just make fun of everybody, and they don't let him do that anymore. That's what made him great when he used to make fun of all the different cruiserweights and all the different champions. Like, they don't let him do that, and I think that would be really funny because they're so concerned about the image of the roster and, like, burying people in the roster that, you know, I think you do damage every week you hold a Raw and you have no jobbers and you have people just trading wins. So you might as well have somebody make jokes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get what you're saying there. I mean, like, I hate, like, what they've done, like, Baron Corbin and, like, Apollo Crews, like, those guys, like, they got brought up. Even Von Billings. I mean, they got brought up, and it's like, okay, they have, like, their little month or two run where they have a couple matches, and now they're on Superstars.
WWE really blew it in, like, the mid 2000s to, like, 2012, because when you make a decision to make a guy a WWE or a World Heavyweight Champion, you need to stay with them forever, because you're basically crowning them as one of your champions. And when you look at guys like Miz and Dolph Ziggler, they were their WWE and World Heavyweight Champions, and just to, like, have Dolph Ziggler and Mark Henry, who was another World Heavyweight Champion, just basically job to anyone now. They'll job to anybody that they wrestle. Like, that was your main eventer, the guy who closed your show at one point. Like, I have a problem with that. I have a huge problem with that. Like, like you have to have jobbers essentially, because you can't ever have your former world champions like the Miz. I mean, Miz is put over everybody. I mean, I don't know. I don't like it. I mean, it's great that
I agree. I mean, but that's sort of the problem of giving everybody the title. I mean, then having two belts. Because they're like, hey, you know what? Ziggler, he wouldn't necessarily have the WWE Championship, but he had the World Championship. So, I mean, you get to the point where he held one of the two titles, and that's fine. But if it was called like the Intercontinental title or the U.S. title instead, I think that's more suitable.
Well, let me ask you a question. So we have this draft coming up, and this will be one of the last things we talk about. So we got this draft coming up, and WWE, in their infinite wisdom, decides the brands are going to be Raw and SmackDown. Now, we've been through that for like 10 years. You own all these different brands. WWE owns the rights to the AWA library and the logo. They own the rights to the WCW logo and the library. They own the rights to the ECW logo and their library. They own the rights to the WCCW and all their logo in their library. Why did WWE not choose to either create a new brand or resurrect one of the old ones when you own all this stuff? Like, I just don't understand why they're so married to SmackDown. Like, it's been done. Why? I mean, I think it would have been really cool had they brought back AWA or WCW as the other brand. Don't you?
Yeah, but you know what? The reason I think they do that is because they get off, and they say it every week on Raw. Raw is the longest running weekly television show in television history. And there's actually something, SmackDown is something too. And I don't know exactly what it's called, but SmackDown it's like the longest running recorded, I don't know. There's something that they have where they're the longest and they're the first and only. So it's not like it's a bigger, I don't know. I think WWE likes to say, hey, we're the only ones who do this, or we're the first one to do this, and we've done this the longest. They like to say that. Whereas if you just start creating these shows like Thunder, there was like zero hype behind that. It wasn't a great name. And to get all the V players. I think SmackDown, especially going live and having Shane McMahon, I think this has a better shot than the first time they split. That's not to say it's not going to suck. I don't know if it's going to suck or not. It's going to depend. I think that it could actually be really good if Shane McMahon does spice things up when he's talking.
Yeah. I don't know. I just wish they would have used a different logo, personally.
And then, you know what? They'd probably come up with a new logo. But, I mean, as far as the name, I don't think that's why they don't want to change it, I think. Because I think they want to be able to say, hey, look, it's like this is SmackDown, it's on Wednesday nights or whenever the hell, Tuesday nights, whenever it's going to be on. But it's the longest running WWE show. That's not Raw.
Do you know how much WWE bought WCW for?
Like $1 million?
$2.2 million, that's it. They bought the library and 24 undercard wrestler contracts for $2.2 million.
And then the option to pick up any contracts that they wanted to stick it out with, which was not much.
You know how much they bought the AWA library for?
Like $500,000?
$3 million. So essentially, AWA had been dead for years, and he bought that library for more than WCW that was an active promotion. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, but the thing is, there was actually, AWA wasn't in existence when they bought it. This was, WCW was in existence. However, they were such a liability because all the big all the mid-carders had decent salaries and shit that they had to pay out. And all the big-timers, I mean, they make their money. And, I mean, most of them sat out to collect from WCW. But, I mean, they didn't get a ton of talent with them. I mean, if they got, like, if Hulk Hogan came right over, I mean, they would have been picking up an option on his contract. They had to pay him a couple million a year. Or actually, no, actually, that's not true. It would have, if it was Hogan, he would have negotiated a new contract with him.
Do you know how much Stevie J bought Angry Marks for?
$50.
You're close. He bought it for $37.21 and got all our contracts with it.
Wow. You know what? I feel like I'm
wrong. I'm wrong. I just got a note passed to me. Actually, it was $37.21, a pack of gum, and a coupon for 4 juice boxes, whatever it is. Yeah, we got.
Do we get stuck with a non-compete? Do we have to wait 90 days before the Angry Men's Guy and Big Rick debut on a new podcast?
You mean, what the hell? It's Medium Rick and happy Men's Guy in the Impact Zone.
Wow. Where did they come from? I heard them from the big. Oh my gosh, these guys are big international stars.
Anyway, dude, that's all I got for this week. Hey, Killer Kev, you there?
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you really enjoyed the last 5 minutes of broadcasting.
Well, of course I did.
What do we got going on in the network the next couple days?
Oh, well, let's see. Tomorrow night on the Undisputed Wrestling Show, which airs live at 9 p.m. every night. In the second hour, we are going to have Northeast Indie women's wrestler Patty Dietz talking about some of her latest exploits. In the first hour, we are going to get one of the legends of the Mid-South of the 90s and the early 2000s. Very noted cruiserweight, middleweight champion, and a tag team champion, JC Ice.
Nice. That's all we got this week. Big Dick, anything you want to talk about before we get off the air?
Nope.
All right, man. That's awesome. I'll talk to you guys soon. Big Dick, thank you. Kayla Kev, thank you. We're going to call it a night. Thank you for everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Take us home, Kayla Kev.